Throughout the year, we focus on cleaning up the local waterways in an effort to improve the riparian habitat here in San Jose. In the fall, salmon migrate upstream to our waterways for a chance to spawn. We monitor the Fall Chinook Salmon Run on Los Gatos Creek and the Guadalupe River. We also have a permit to retrieve samples of any salmon carcasses we find in the waterways for our research into a native strain of salmon that belongs to the South Bay. The 2025 Fall Chinook Salmon Run seemed like it was going to be plentiful due to different variables going on in the ocean and locally. The most noticeable would be the commercial fishing season has been closed for the past 3 years in California to allow for populations to recover. San Jose had also been busy all of 2025 improving the waterways, trails, and parks throughout the city. With less obstacles in the way for the Fall Salmon Run, everything looked like it was going to be a big year for the local salmon run in San Jose. Unfortunately, we saw less salmon in our waterways during our monitoring activities this year. We estimated at least 300 Chinook salmon in our waterways, and this is supported by observations made by Valley Water. Valley Water has a fish ladder near Almaden Lake, which collected roughly 243 currently confirmed salmon observations, not accounting for up and down movement with 700 more observations to comb through. We are grateful for the numbers that we are seeing, but this is still nowhere near the 2,000 fish that we would need to indicate a sustainable salmon population in our waterways. Although we saw less Chinook salmon in the waterways, we were able to find and harvest 25 carcasses. We harvested 18 carcasses from the Guadalupe River, 6 from Los Gatos Creek, and 1 from Los Alamitos Creek. The largest carcass found was in the Guadalupe River at 36 inches, and we returned 4 salmon carcasses to CDFW. The main reasons we theorized the run was smaller than previous years was due to warmer temperatures, less rain, barriers, and the flow of water. This year's run started after the rain hit the Bay Area in October. The first sighting of fish was over by Trimble Road next to the mammoth statue on the Guadalupe River in the last week of October. This was a sign we might have an early run for the year. There was definitely fish in the system with the first carcass found during one of our cleanup events at the Guadalupe River Park off Coleman Avenue. After this short pulse of salmon, there was a noticeable decline in fish seen in the waterways until the next rainy days in November and December. During this time, we hosted events to show the public the spawning activity in the Los Gatos Creek. We had a handful of viewings behind the prune yard this year by Creekside Way in Campbell. We also invited the public to walk the Los Gatos Creek and San Thomas Aquinas Creek in search of salmon carcasses. In December, we were joined by students at Hillbrook School to walk San Thomas Aquinas Creek. This waterway has features that make it a great example of the challenges spawning salmon face in our local waterways. San Thomas Aquinas Creek is smooth and sandy with concrete barriers that prevent salmon from getting further upstream past Monroe Street in Santa Clara. Spawning in this area is also problematic due to the lack of a stable riverbed and unfavorable substrate. As the waterway floods, anything within it gets flushed downstream, including salmon redds. Any remaining nests dry out along with the creek in the spring. The flow of water seemed to play a big part in the amount of salmon we saw in our waterways. Our waterway infrastructure is working great by keeping our local rivers and creeks from flooding, but this can have adverse effects for the local salmon run. As the water level rises, much of the floodplain fills up and salmon can traverse upstream. We believe this is one of the reasons we saw less salmon this year. Most of the nesting areas we see every year were unsuitable this year due to the amount of water. We believe salmon took the opportunity to swim upstream past these areas to more favorable spawning grounds. This was clearly seen in the Los Gatos Creek with the salmon getting past the Campbell Avenue Bridge. This area is typically the farthest the Fall Chinook Salmon Run can go in Los Gatos Creek. For the 2025 Salmon Run, we saw Chinook salmon by the dam close to San Thomas Expressway. Unfortunately, this area is not the best for building reds due to the amount of sediment, algae, and lack of suitable gravel. For the 2025 year, we also saw large log jams and trash barriers in the Guadalupe River that could have contributed to the reduction of salmon in our local waterways. Salmon can traverse most barriers, but some are too cluttered and can prevent salmon from swimming further upstream. We hope next year's run will be more fruitful, with more salmon in our rivers and creeks. In the meantime, we will continue to reclaim, restore, and revitalize the local waterways.